Hello and welcome to another how-to video. My name's DaiTech, CTO at DVS, and thank you for everybody who has liked, shared and even commented on our YouTube video. If you haven't, head over to our YouTube channel and all our social media channels, hit the subscribe button where you can interact with us and get notified about all the latest technologies and its functions and features. So, before we move on, great news at DVS this week. If you haven't heard, where have you been? We're now part of the Midwich family and we're very, very excited to bring what they offer and how we can move forward as a partnership so we can deliver more to you guys moving forward. More of that to come later on, so keep your eyes peeled. Very, very exciting time and I can't wait to get started on that journey. So, what are we going to take a look at today? So, Hikvision have released a new recessed camera. Now, we had one of these probably dating back 18 plus months ago. 18 months ago was when we sold the last variant of this. It was an older 2 megapixel recessed dome. This is the new one, 4 megapixel. I'll just show you guys the part number. So let that focus in. So part number there, 4 megapixel. So it's an updated model. Now these are really, really popular where you want to give a surveillance view, so you need that safety or surveillance or health and safety coverage, but you don't want something glaringly obvious. So office, maybe a working office, corridors, schools, colleges, hotels, they go down very, very well in hotels. You know, that kind of thing, where you can recess this into the ceiling, so it's a very, very small footprint, very small exposure, but it gives you a great image and very, very flexible. So let's take it out of the box and see what this is all about. These are on order at DVS. Got quite a lot of these. We've already sold a lot of these since they landed a few weeks ago, and there's a lot more coming in. So inside the box, so if you are fitting it in a ceiling tile or a plasterboard ceiling, for instance, it comes with a drill template. Simply fix that, it's a sticky back, take it off, fix that to the ceiling, drill through, and that will be your exact diameter for this product to fit up through. So if any of you are electricians and you've previously fitted downlighters, they're spring loaded, so you drill a hole and fit it up and the springs cantilever out. Same principle, exactly the same principle. So in the box you get a cover, so a black cover with small bubble. There we can see that there. Really small profile. So you get a black cover, or it actually comes fitted with a white one. Now these are magnetic, so you can simply take it off to change it or adjust the camera inside one's fitted. But it does come with a black one or the white one which is fitted. Now there's absolutely no weight to this at all. You know, we're talking a couple of crisp packets in essence. It's that light. So that makes it very easy to fit. So if you do have a ceiling tile scenario, you can drill a hole through, fit this. You don't have to worry about mattresses, etc. So a heavier PTZ camera or recessed an older one where there was a substantial weight to it, you'd have to go and cut mattresses to reinforce that tile to make sure it didn't collapse. This one, not so much. It's so light, then you could, majority of the time I think, get away with not fitting a mattress to it. But then of course you can always attach a cable, a safety cable through there to something above. One, to stop the ceiling tile being taken away with the camera, and two, if it does happen to crumble, the ceiling tile for whatever reason, the camera will stay suspended in midair and you'll still get a view of it, and connected by the RJ45 PoE cable. It's a very, very simplistic design. So on top you have a PoE RJ45 or a 12 volt input. That's effectively it. There's nothing else to really do with this other than drill the hole, make sure you've got that depth. So obviously as a reset ceiling, it's going to sit like that, so you need to make sure you have this as a clearance above it. 3 springs, so you simply tuck the springs up, fit it through the hole, and they will go down onto the surface and keep that spring loaded and secure in situ. You can take this cover off, like I said, magnetic. Access granted. And then, oh thank you. And then underneath you've got the small camera assembly where you can rotate that. There's a little screw there, you can rotate it if you need to, and you've got the up and down movement. The idea being, when you fit this, is the easiest way is fit the camera module there in the direction that you want it to view. So when you fit the camera, fit it in so it's in that location already, you can turn the whole module like this, tilt it up and down, and that is your adjustment. It's very simple to fit, but very effective. You can see, in comparison to say like an iPhone here, you can see the footprint is very, very small. Very discreet camera, very nice, and I'm so pleased that we got it back. If I do, for instance, want to fit the cover, magnetic, so there's a metal plate on here with a magnet on there. You can see the magnets. Just make sure they line up like that, and it's done. And that's the black cover. Okay? Very, very simple. So all I'm going to do now to make this super, super simple and to guide you through it, plug this into the network. I'm not actually going to fit this in a ceiling today. I don't have my tools with me to do it. Stupid Dave. Going to fit it in and quickly show you the functions and features of it. There is no infrared on this. Just a bit, for those of you that do use this camera, there is no infrared, so you have to be mindful of that assembly. If we put infrared in a camera that small, the refraction through this small bubble would be highlighted extremely a lot. But it is an Acusense camera, so it does make use of that built-in VCA technology, and it does have a built-in microphone if you choose to use it. Let me transfer you over and you can see the details. Okay, so I've temporarily got the camera onto the network, logged into it, activated it using the SADP tool, and I've put it up in a temporary manner. So it's not the best, but it will do for purposes of demonstration. So very familiar. If I show you the live view, like I say, it is 4 megapixel. I'll run you through the functions and features. And yes, before anyone comments, it is on an angle, but you get the idea. If that was fitted in the ceiling, it'd give you a very clear view of the area. 2.8mm, nice and wide, with the built-in microphone, so you get the audio with a very discreet footprint. So it's got a very, very exciting potential in the markets I've already explained. So, standard things, so obviously always check you're on the latest firmware. Currently this is the latest firmware. It's a very new model, and it's already on the latest firmware. Under the VCA resource, Smart Event allows the VCA. If I change it to monitoring, it allows me to turn off the VCA because I may not be using it. It may not be completely not applicable, but then it allows some other little image tweaks that are really not that relevant. Mainly rotate mode in some of the products outside of this, where you'd want rotate mode so you can rotate the image. Again, reboot, default, export, firmware, and auto maintenance is the restart time. So if I put Sunday at midnight, every Sunday at midnight, if I enabled it, the camera would reboot, which may or may not be helpful in some network instances. Security, adjust your security as required. And you've got IP address filter, so you can enable and forbid IP addresses, security service, and the advanced security. Under network, I've simply got the product online, but under advanced settings, it does support ISUP and HikConnect. So HikConnect is our native peer-to-peer app. Most people are very aware what HikConnect is. The ISUP protocol is how we connect to a Hike Central product. So this camera is remote, doesn't have a fixed IP address. I can still add it to a Hike Central system using our ISUP backend protocol. Integration, network service, and alarm servers, they're all there, so you can enable and disable functions as required for your application. And again, with video and audio, it's a 4 megapixel, generally H.265. I don't really use H.265 Plus where I can. I just find it causes more problems than it fixes, but again, the choice is entirely yours. Click save. But on the video stream, I'm going to change it to video and audio and click save. The camera does sometimes reboot when you do that. And then same with substream, video and audio. So make sure you do it on the main stream and the substream. That'll be fine. And the audio tab, you've got input volume, so you can turn that right up if you feel. Environmental noise filter. tries to cut out background noise and focuses on the speech. So again, up to you. Leave it off to start with and see how you get on. Save that. And then all of the usual settings, like with the display, you've got the scenes. Choose which one is best for your application. Exposure, day-night switch, although it doesn't have an infrared, so I would leave it as auto or force it into day mode because there is no infrared. Backlight settings, white balance, image control, and video adjustment. It has WDR, so if you do put this in a, say, an entrance foyer where it's a glass front and the sun is quite strong, using WDR we can still obtain a very usable image with the WDR technique. So it gives it more flexibility on the installation. Again, OSD, so on-screen displays. Sorry, Michael Taylor, I will not be answering you. And again, we can adjust this as needed. So I can put this DVS demo room. Save. Privacy mask, again, if it's in a sensitive area where you need to start masking areas to give that privacy to the scene, again, feel free to use it. And then image parameters switch. So not a lot of people use this, but you can enable it and then use any of these preset scenes at different times. So, if the sun is strong in January between these times, you could use a backlight setting, and then in March you could use normal. Then in June you could use front light, and then in the winter months use low illumination mode. Most of our cameras support this image parameter switch, so it makes it very flexible for you to build up a profile based on your customer's application and needs and site installation. So again, based on motion, it is an Acusense camera, so it has the advanced motion detection algorithm for human and vehicle. But again, under smart event, it has face detection if you want to use face detection, if you want to output that to an NVR perhaps. Or you can use intrusion detection. Enable it. Draw a detection area. So for instance, this area here. Humans, threshold 0. So the threshold is from 0 to 10. Effectively, what that threshold says is the time an object has to be detected in this area. So if I put it to 10, generally around 10 seconds time, it will validate I'm still in the area and then create the alarm. But for purposes of test, I'll put it to, say, 2 seconds. Sensitivity is how sensitive it is. And then target validity, I always start with basic, but you can adjust if it's not detecting, you can actually make that target validity higher or highest. Click save. The other thing you may want to try is if you're getting false alarms, the minimum and maximum object size filter. So it's like a perspective thing. So I could say maximum size is that. So an object, any object that is detected that's bigger than this box, ignore it. And then the minimum size, any object that's smaller than this box, ignore it. So, the false alarms through reflections of light, small animals, etc. can be mitigated using that minimum and maximum object size. Click save. I'm teaching you guys how to suck eggs, I appreciate that. But for those of you that are new to the channel or the video content, this setup that I'm showing you now applies generally across all of the Hikvision product range. Arming schedule, linkage method. Notify Surveillance Center is our app on software. Upload the FTP memory card on NAS and then send email. So very, very basic stuff. And then, of course, if you've got hard drive management, you can put it in there. So network hard drives and SD card type storage. Not really going to use an SD card in this product, I guess, but if I go to local, enable rules, and I go to live view, I'll give you a quick demonstration of what the video looks like. So I'll go and put myself in the scene, ignore the camera tripod that's still set up, and just finishing that film. So I'll go and stand in the scene, and you'll also see that it'll detect me using the VCA algorithm. For those of you that are very, very aware, the time and date is wrong because I haven't adjusted it. You're very correct. Because I haven't added this camera to a DVR NVR, it hasn't had its time sync from that back end device. Therefore, if you're using the camera in standalone mode in isolation, you do need to set the time and date. As soon as I add this to an NVR or DVR, it will take that NVR DVR's time, and that problem would effectively go away. But it's a keen one to point out. And there you go. And there's the alarm. And that, my friends, is the mini recessed dome from Hikvision. PoE powered, very small eco footprint, very discreet, but a nice powerful device that you can make use of on your customer applications. Any questions, drop them in the comments below, and we'll be happy to help where we can. Contact your DVS sales rep. We do have these in stock, and we'll be happy to help. Other than that, stay safe wherever you are, and we'll see you next week for another how-to video. Thank you.